Hello students. Today we are going to see a complex tissue. Before we have considered meristematic tissue, then we are considering complex tissue, simple tissue. So there is a significant difference in complex tissue and simple tissue. That simple tissue will be constituted of a single type of tissue, and here in complex tissue there will be different tissue will come together to form a same tissue, and which will be mainly aim to perform a common function. Means all different tissue will come together to perform a single function, and such a tissue we consider it as a complex tissue. So here in complex tissue we have to consider xylem and phloem. Together xylem and phloem will form a vascular bundle in a plant, and this vascular bundle means the vessels, they will be entirely in the plant body, there will be presence of vessel. So xylem and phloem will constitute a vascular bundle. It means they will be entirely present in the whole plant body. And as they are entirely present in the whole plant body, so definitely they are going to give a mechanical strength to the plant. मग आता त्याच्यामधलं आपल्याला पहिले काय बघायचं आहे तर झायलेम बघायचं आहे. देन विल कन्सिडर फ्लोएम. आता हा झायलेम काय करतो तर झायलेम प्लांट बॉडीमध्ये वॉटर कंडक्शन करतो. म्हणजे रूट जे वॉटर ॲब्सॉर्ब करतात ते वॉटर तुमच्या root hairs will be absorbed, and that water will come in the main axis of a plant, that is inside a root and then to the stem. तर हे वॉटर जे रूट मध्ये ऍब्सॉर्ब झालेलं आहे दॅट वॉटर हॅज टू कंडक्टेड टू द एंटायर प्लांट बॉडी. आणि प्लांट मध्ये फक्त वॉटरच ऍब्सॉर्ब केलं जात नाही तर अलॉंग साइड वॉटर देयर इज अ प्रेझेन्स ऑफ dissolved mineral in that, and we call it as a sap. So this sap will be entirely conducted from the root to the entire plant body by these xylems. So xylems are considered as a hydrome. Xylem ला hydrome पण म्हणतात. Xylem is primarily mean for having conduction of water and mineral from root to the entire plant body. Root to the entire plant body. Alongside this, they will provide a mechanical strength. So why they will provide a mechanical strength? Because your xylem will be present inside a plant body from the root to the entire plant body. So as there is a presence of a pipe inside a plant body, so because of that, that pipe will be mean to provide a mechanical strength to the plant. And most of time, if you consider leaf, so in that leaf you will be observing a vascular strand. So these vascular strands, these vessels will be considered nothing but a xylem and phloem. They are vascular bundles. So they are going to hold the entire rigidity or stiffness of the leaf. So they will provide a mechanical strength. So xylem will be providing mechanical strength to the plant body. This xylem tissue is considered to be dead tissue. So why we call it as a dead tissue? Because xylem is made up of different type of tissue. As like we consider inside the xylem there is a presence of trachea, there is a presence of vessel, there is a presence of xylem fibers, or we call it as a wood fiber. It is nothing but a xylem sclerenchyma, then xylem parenchyma. So among these four will be comprised or constituting your xylem, and that's why we call xylem as a complex tissue. Inside the xylem there is a presence of trachea, vessel, xylem fiber, and xylem parenchyma. So all these form will come together to perform a common function, that is of conduction of water, and because of this we consider it as a complex tissue. See here there is organization of four tissue together: xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber or sclerenchyma, then vessel and trachea. So all these will come together for a common function, that is having conduction of water. Inside the xylem, all these four tissue will be present. Among these four tissue, only xylem parenchyma is considered as a living tissue. Only xylem parenchyma is considered as a living tissue. Rest of three, that is trachea, vessels, and xylem fibers or xylem sclerenchyma, are a dead tissue. So we consider this as a dead tissue. So we consider xylem as a dead tissue, and we call xylem as a heterogeneous tissue. So why we call xylem as a heterogeneous tissue? So homo means same and hetero means different. So here your xylem will be constituted of a different type of tissue together. So we call it as a heterogeneous tissue. Inside the xylem there is a presence of trachea, vessel, xylem fiber, xylem parenchyma. All these are different tissue. So primarily they are meant to have perform their different function, but here they has to perform a collective function, that is conduction of water. So now one by one we have to consider each one of them, how they are constituted, how they will be formed, and their each characteristic. So this trachea, vessel, xylem parenchyma, xylem sclerenchyma will form a tissue. That tissue we called it as a xylem, and xylem is primarily meant for having conduction of water. So in plant body, entirely water will be conducted through this xylem. And most important characteristic, xylem conducts water unidirectional. So what it means? So xylem will always conduct water in unidirectional flow, that is from root to the entire plant body, means upward movement. Their water will not be having a back flow. Anyway, water will not have a back flow. So water will be always conducted in a unidirectional means from root to the stem or root to the entire plant body. But from plant body to root, you will never observe, and it is only because of root pressure. Root pressure is also responsible for that, and this trachea and vessel will have a wall thickening. They are also responsible for it. We'll consider this wall thickening later. See, now we have to consider all these component of your xylem, how they are organized, how they will look, and their individual characteristics. So first of all, we are going to consider tracheae. So in tracheae are considered as they are present in all vascular plants. So basically we consider a plant as a vascular plant. To which plant we consider as a vascular plant? The plant which has a vascular bundle, means they have a xylem and phloem. Xylem for conduction of water and phloem for conduction of food. Such a plant which has xylem and phloem, or such a plant which has vascular bundle, they are considered as vascular plants. So we have pteridophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperm, they are vascular plants. So all vascular plants are characterized for having a presence of tracheae. All vascular plant will have tracheae, but vessel will only present in the angiosperm. So vessel is a characteristic of angiosperm. So we can't call vessel will present in all vascular plants, but tracheae will present in gymnosperm, pteridophyte and angiosperm also. But tracheae are the main water conducting element in gymnosperm and pteridophyte, because in gymnosperm and pteridophyte there is absence of vessel, and so tracheae becomes a मेन वॉटर कंडक्टिंग एलिमेंट. जसं की जिम्नोस्पर्म मध्ये आणि टेरिडोफाइट मध्ये वेसल नसल्यामुळे जिम्नोस्पर्म आणि टेरिडोफाइट मध्ये फक्त वॉटर कंडक्शन साठी राहणार ट्रॅचेट, आणि अँजिओस्पर्म मध्ये मेन वॉटर कंडक्टिंग एलिमेंट आहे तुमच्या वेसल. इज देयर? सो इन अँजिओस्पर्म ट्रॅचेट विल ऑल्सो प्रेझेंट and vessel will also present, but in gymnosperm and pteridophyte only trachea will present, your vessel will remain absent. So how these tracheae look? So here we have to consider tracheae are long elongated tube-like structure. They are long elongated tube-like structure. Most important thing that their walls are tapering, means they will look likewise. Their walls are, or their ends are tapering. See, they are long elongated tube-like, but their ends are tapering. So this one trachea, and along this trachea there will be organization of another trachea. So tracheae will be organized likewise. So there is a continuous tube. Trachea is going to form a continuous tube. So tracheae are long elongated tube-like and having tapering ends. So at the walls, see, as your trachea is going to conduct the water, so this water has got to flow out. So here their cell wall will have deposition of lignin. Trachea has a cell wall which has deposition of lignin, and as before we have considered lignin, their walls are lignified. So we have considered lignin is impermeable to water. So means this water will be moved inside this lumen of a trachea, but that water will not be able to come out of that lumen. So likewise. So here there is a presence of lignified walls. So these walls are lignified, and here there is the presence of water. So this water will not be flow out because there is a presence of lignin. As there is a presence of lignin, so protoplasmic content will also be absent. Protoplasm will not be present, and as there is no protoplasm, so cell will become definitely dead. So why tracheae are dead tissue? Because the walls of tracheae are lignified, thick lignified, and because of that lignin, there is a cytoplasmic stemming will not be there, and so protoplasmic content will be absent, or these cells will be without protoplasmic content, and so your cell will become dead. So tracheae are long, elongated, and their walls are tapering, and they are interconnected here likewise. Means end to end they are connected. So likewise in entire plant body, suppose this is your stem, and here there is a presence of one trachea, then another trachea, then another trachea. So likewise, trachea will go on arranging inside a plant body. So these tracheae are long, elongated tube-like tapering ends. Their ends are tapering, and these cells are dead. Why these cells are dead? Because inside their cell wall there is a lignin, and lignin will not permit. Lignin is impermeable for water, and as lignin is impermeable for water, there will be no protoplasmic content inside a cell. But this lignin, most importantly, it will prevent the outflow of water from this trachea. So tracheae are main water conducting element in pteridophyte and gymnosperm. Pteridophyte and gymnosperm. See, now then after considering tracheae, we have to consider about vessel. So although the tracheae or vessel both inside their cell wall there is a lignin, and inner part of their cell will have, inner part of this lumen will be constituted of a wall thickening. Inner part will be having wall thickening, and these wall thickenings are important. We have to consider a wall thickening present in trachea and wall thickening present in vessel. There are different types of wall thickening that we'll consider later, and then we'll consider wall thickening of trachea and vessels. Now we have to consider vessel. As we have discussed, vessels are the main water conducting element in angiosperm. Vessels alongside trachea are considered as water conducting element in angiosperm, but in angiosperm main water conducting element is vessel. In the name of angiosperm, the term angio means vessel and sperma means seed. So you can consider its name is O to the vessel. So vessel becomes most important part of conducting system of angiosperm. Tracheae are only present. Tracheae are main water conducting element in gymnosperm and pteridophyte. Tracheae are present in angiosperm also with vessel, but in angiosperm main water conducting element reside with the vessel. But we do consider the water conducting element in angiosperm is tracheae and vessel. See, now we have to consider how these vessels are. So vessels are long cylindrical. See, here long elongated tube-like. So here you can consider it as a vessels are cylindrical, means their lumen will be wide. Suppose likewise, this is, well, and their ends are not tapering. So their ends are not tapering. So one vessel, so this is vessel. And the vessel wall is also lignified. Vessel wall is also considered as lignified. So here there is also presence of lignin. So long, they are. So vessels are longer than the tracheae. Comprised to the tracheae, vessels are longer and vessels are tube-like. Their lumen is wide. Main water conducting element is wide. Their lumen is wide. Compared to the tracheae, vessel has a wide lumen. Vessel has a wide lumen. So as we have considered, so likewise, this is your tracheae. So here lumen is narrow and here lumen is wide. And their ends are not tapering as like tracheae. Vessel is long and tube-like cylindrical. It is cylindrical. So here you consider one vessel and then presence of another vessel. One vessel and another vessel. Both vessels are long, cylindrical, and it is also dead because there is a lignin in their cell wall. So as compared to the tracheae, the wall thickening of vessel is less thicker. Means the walls of tracheae are more thick than the walls of vessels, and because of that, here lumen becomes wide in vessel. ट्रॅचिडच्या वॉलची थिकनिंग जास्त असल्यामुळे ट्रॅचिडचं ल्युमेन नॅरो झालं आणि व्हेसलच्या वॉलची थिकनेस कमी असल्यामुळे व्हेसलचं ल्युमेन हे वाईड राहिलं. इज देअर? नाउ your vessels has wide lumen. Here the transverse walls, most important thing, transverse walls are perforated. Transverse wall means here we consider this wall as a transverse wall. These walls are considered as transverse wall. And transverse walls are perforated. These transverse walls will have perforation likewise. So what for these perforation are mean? Suppose here there is a presence of water. This water has to move into this cell. So there is a presence of this transverse wall. And they has to cross that transverse wall. To cross this transverse wall, there is a presence of perforation. So here there is a perforation in a transverse wall, and transverse walls are interconnected. Transverse walls are interconnected. In vessel, transverse walls, consider likewise. This is considered as a transverse wall. Suppose we are placing them likewise. So these will be considered as a transverse wall. This will be considered as, here there is a presence of transverse wall, and these transverse walls are perforated. So as they are perforated, so water from this vessel will move to this vessel. And later it has been observed the vessel has ability to dissolve these transverse wall. Means their transverse wall will get dissolved. As their transverse wall will get dissolved, so there is a continuous passage of water. Although we consider their transverse walls are perforated and interconnected, but later they will have dissolution of transverse wall. As this transverse wall will get dissolved, so this becomes a continuous flow of water. And because of that, there are two different things which we have to consider why vessel has become a most important constituent of angiosperm. And because of that, angiosperm could conquer the land. Angiosperm has a best water conducting ability, and so angiosperm could conquer a land even though in the deserts also. Even though in the deserts also angiosperm could survive, because their vessels basically they are long. Then second thing, their lumen is wide, and third thing, transverse wall has got dissolved. Although transverse wall were having a presence of perforation, but they have made it over that solution, that they have dissolved their transverse wall. And as transverse wall has got dissolved, so these two vessels has become one, and there will be enormous water conduction in a free flowing manner. Either so this is your vessel. So consider comparatively, tracheids are the main water conducting element in gymnosperm and pteridophyte. Later, vessels are the main water conducting element in angiosperm. Vessels are absent in gymnosperm and pteridophyte, but tracheids are present in the angiosperm also. Your tracheids are long, elongated and tapering. Vessels are long, cylindrical. Long, elongated and tapering, long, cylindrical. Vessels are cylindrical. As compared to tracheid, vessels are long. Third thing, wall thickening of tracheid is more thicker compared to the wall thickening of vessel. Lumen of tracheid is narrow and lumen of vessel is wide. Lumen of tracheid is narrow and lumen of tracheid is narrow and lumen of vessel is wide. Is there? So your tracheid and vessel both are dead tissue because their walls are lignified, and as there is a lignin, no protoplasmic content is present in both tracheid as well as vessel. So here tracheid and these are vessel. This becomes a component, means they will have conduction of water. So inside their lumen there will be continuous flow of water. And inside this lumen there is a wall thickening, inner wall thickening. We call them inner wall thickening. So there are different wall thickening. We will consider it in a last part. So tracheid and vessels are considered to be main water conducting element. In a xylem tissue, we have considered xylem tissue is comprised of 4 different type of tissue: tracheid, vessel, xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. So among that only tracheid and vessels are the water conducting element. These two means, as we are aware about, xylem fiber or xylem sclerenchyma are mainly mean for providing mechanical strength, and xylem parenchyma they are considered for the storage of food. And here xylem parenchyma has to perform one more function that we consider in the last one. See, tracheids and vessel, these are main water conducting element. So you should be clear about it. Rather, tracheid and vessel. So which among these is present in angiosperm? So vessels and tracheid are present in angiosperm, but vessels are absent in gymnosperm and pteridophyte. So which particular component of xylem is present in pteridophyte and gymnosperm and angiosperm? So that is tracheid. Tracheids are present in all vascular plant, but vessels are present only in the angiosperm. Is there? Some gymnosperm and pteridophyte in evolution, the last one, the gymnosperm which are the last one which will be going to or later will be evolution of angiosperm. Such a gymnosperm has shown the presence of vessels also, but the primitive type of vessels will be present there. So now we consider xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. So here the third tissue, that is xylem fiber. We call them xylem fiber, we can call them wood fiber, or we can call them xylem sclerenchyma. Why we call xylem sclerenchyma? Because they are the sclerenchyma which are present in the xylem, so we call them xylem sclerenchyma. As we are aware about, sclerenchyma is long, elongated, lignified, dead tissue. So similarly here to the same sclerenchyma which we have considered in a simple tissue will be present here. So they are long, elongated. They are primarily mean to provide a mechanical support. So they will provide mechanical support, means they will hold this vascular bundle together. All different components has to be packed, or all different component has to be hold together, and they will be hold together with the help of your xylem fiber. Now the third one, that is xylem parenchyma. So xylem parenchyma is the only tissue which is considered as a living in your dead tissue, that is xylem. So this is living. So normally parenchyma is a living tissue, we have considered before also. So this parenchyma, as this parenchyma is living, it will have main function of storage of food. They are meant for storage of food. So they will be storing the food, complex food material. And second most important thing about this parenchyma is, suppose this is our plant axis, and here there is a presence of branch, or here there is a presence of leaf. So this is our vessel, and here there is a presence of our trachea. Is there? And on the guarding there is a presence of your sclerenchyma. Rather, there is a presence of sclerenchyma. So here there is a presence of parenchyma cell. There is a presence of xylem parenchyma. So these xylem parenchyma are considered as a ray parenchyma cell. They are considered as a ray parenchyma cell. The parenchyma cell. And here this parenchyma cell will have a lateral conduction of water. This ray parenchyma cell will have a radial or lateral conduction of water. And it is short distance. Ray parenchyma has a short distance conduction of water. So parenchyma cell has one more function, because the water will flow continually upward through your tracheates and vessel. But here there is a presence of branch. So water to this branch will be provided from this trachea and vessel by this parenchyma. And the parenchyma, radial parenchyma, which are meant for having a lateral conduction of water, which is short distance. They just has to bring the water from here to here. Then after here there is a presence of vascular stand. So they will continue that water. But from this one to this one, short distance they has to conduct the transport of water. So these parenchymatous cells are considered as the ray parenchymatous cell. The parenchymatous cell in your xylem has a function of storage of food, as well as these parenchymatous cells present in the xylem will be responsible for short distance transport of water to the lateral part. So here to the leaf there is a conduction of water with the help of ray parenchyma or xylem parenchyma, and here also to the branch there is a short distance transport of water with the help of ray parenchyma, that is xylem parenchyma. This xylem parenchyma has a two functions, that is storage of food and short distance transport, radial or lateral transport of water. So this is all about tissue present in the xylem. Now we have to consider, on the basis of development of xylem, there are two different types of xylem. We call them as a protoxylem and metaxylem. So here we consider protoxylem and metaxylem on the basis of. So your xylem on the basis of its development will be considered as of two types, that is protoxylem and the metaxylem. The xylem which will develop first or which will develop early in the plant part is considered as protoxylem, and the xylem which will develop late or later form, that xylem is considered as metaxylem. Protoxylem is considered as a smaller one. The size of your protoxylem will be smaller, and the late form xylem, that is metaxylem, will have of a large size. Means here if we will draw as a circle, so this is your protoxylem and this will be considered as your metaxylem. So here in case their arrangement in the plant body. So this is your stem and we are taking transverse section. आपण याचा असा ट्रान्सफर सेक्शन घेऊन त्या ट्रान्सफर सेक्शनला असं टॉप व्ह्यू मध्ये बघू. तर हा जर टॉप व्ह्यू तुम्ही बघितला तर हे जे छोटा दिसतो दिस इज प्रोटोझायलेम आणि हा जो मोठा दिसतो हा झाला मेटाझायलेम. सो याची अरेंजमेंट, द अरेंजमेंट ऑफ युअर प्रोटोझायलेम अँड मेटाझायलेम ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ पोझिशन ऑफ प्रोटोझायलेम अँड मेटाझायलेम with respect to the center, we consider it as a three different types. So first it is exarch type of your vascular bundle or xylem. Exarch type of xylem. In exarch type of xylem, the metaxylem is towards center and protoxylem is toward periphery. Moreover, we call it as a protoxylem or metaxylem lies inner to protoxylem. So here metaxylem lies inner to protoxylem. म्हणजे मेटाझायलेम हा प्रोटोझायलेमच्या आतमध्ये आहे. म्हणजे आतमध्ये आहे म्हणजे कुठे आहे, सेंटरच्या जवळ आहे. सो विच इज नियर द सेंटर, दॅट इज मेटाझायलेम. मग या दोघांमधला आधी कोण फॉर्म झाला असेल, तर आधी तयार झाला तुमचा प्रोटोझायलेम आणि नंतर हा तयार झाला. म्हणजे डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफ झायलेम ही कुठं कुठं आहे, तर सेंटर पेरिफेरीकडनं सेंटरकडे. सो वी कॉल इट ॲज अ सेंट्रिपिटल. इन एक्झॅक्ट टाइप ऑफ झायलेम, प्रोटोझायलेम लाइज toward periphery and metaxylem lies towards center, or you call metaxylem lies inner to the protoxylem. Metaxylem lies inner to the protoxylem. Metaxylem हा प्रोटोझायलेमच्या आतमध्ये. If metaxylem is inner to the protoxylem, then it is considered as exarch type. मग बाहेरचा आधी डेव्हलप झाला, दॅट इज प्रोटोझायलेम, आणि आतमधला नंतर डेव्हलप झाला. म्हणजे डेव्हलपमेंट कुठनं कुठे येते, तर पेरिफेरी टू सेंटर. सो वी कॉल इट ॲज अ सेंट्रिपिटल डेव्हलपमेंट. Xylem जेव्हा protoxylem is on inner side and metaxylem is on protoxylem is on outer side and metaxylem is on inner side, that we consider it as an exarch. Here in end arch, protoxylem is on inner side, that is protoxylem is near the center and metaxylem is toward periphery. Means development is from periphery to center because protoxylem is early form, metaxylem is late form. So first towards center has got developed and the latter toward the periphery has got developed. So we call it as a centrifugal. In exarch type of xylem, protoxylem is on outer side, metaxylem is on inner side. In endarch type of xylem, your protoxylem is on inner side and metaxylem is on outer side. Endo means in कोण, तर protoxylem. Exo means out कोण, protoxylem. Protoxylem जर बाहेर असेल metaxylem च्या, then we call exarch. Protoxylem जर आतमध्ये असेल then we call endarch. Now here mesarch, protoxylem, meso means middle. Protoxylem is enclosed inside your metaxylem. So see here we have considered protoxylem. At the center there is a protoxylem and to cover it there is the presence of your metaxylem. Means protoxylem is within a metaxylem. So we call it as a mesarch. This is all about your protoxylem and metaxylem. Now, see here on the basis of development of xylem, there are two types, protoxylem and metaxylem. Early form will be considered as protoxylem, late form will be considered as metaxylem. On the basis of their arrangement, we have considered three types, that is exarch, endarch, and mesarch. If protoxylem is on outer side, then we call it exarch. If protoxylem is on inner side, compared to the metaxylem, then we call endarch. If protoxylem is enclosed within the metaxylem, then we call mesarch. Is there? So here we'll consider a wall thickening of tracheids and vessel, and that is inner wall thickening. You are aware about outer wall will have constituted of lignin, but their inner wall thickening of tracheid and vessel is also important. So what do you mean by inner wall thickening? तुम्ही भिंडी कापा, ओकरा, लेडीज फिंगर, तिला जर कापलं आणि तिचा जर टॉप व्ह्यू बघितला तर तिच्या आतमध्ये आपल्याला असं काही दिसतं, हे असं 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 हे काहीतरी दिसतं. तर तशा प्रकारची इनर वॉल, ती इनर वॉल असते. म्हणजे त्या आतमधल्या भागाला जे थिकनेस असतात त्याला आपण इनर वॉल थिकनिंग म्हणतो. सो हिअर ऑल्सो युअर ट्रॅचेड अँड वेसल हॅज अ डिफरंट टाइप्स ऑफ इनर वॉल थिकनिंग, and these inner wall thickening are also important for having conduction of water. Rather, they are mean for providing a proper perforation inner wall. So likewise, so first of all there is a annular thickening. So annular means likewise ring will be present on inner thickness. So likewise ring are present. First ring, then water will move here, then across this second ring, then water will move here and then here likewise. And second, that is spiral thickening. So likewise there will be inner wall will have a thickness. So likewise. Then there is scalariform. So likewise these are the inner wall which have made a thickness. This is the thickened part. So likewise this is considered as scalariform thickness. Then pitted. Small pits will be there all along the length of your tracheid and vessel. So this is considered to be most advanced and modified one. So recently it has been characterized pitted one. So and then reticular, here there is no exact pattern of thickness. So likewise there are 5 different type of thickness, that is annular, second spiral, third scalariform, then pitted and then your reticular. So these are the different thickness we observed in tracheid as well as vessel. So there are different wall thickening. Inner wall thickening, I am talking about inner wall thickening. Inside a wall, suppose this is a tracheid, this is outer wall, and on inner wall this lumen will be constituted of this kind of thickness. So this thickness we call it as the inner wall thickening of tracheid and vessel. There are 5 different type of inner wall thickness, that is annular, spiral, scalariform, pitted and reticular. Hope that you all understand about entirely your xylem. Xylem is a complex tissue which is meant for having conduction of water, and xylem is a complex tissue. So there is an organization of tracheids, there is an organization of vessel, there is xylem sclerenchyma and xylem parenchyma. This is all about the tracheid. We have to consider phloem in the next lecture. Is there?